Where do you stand, and how much would be enough for you, Congressman, in terms of cuts that we could make to get a deal done by Friday?
Well, good morning, Connell. I am among really a majority of members of the House Republican caucus who are conservative, and also I've spoken with a number of freshmen. Our bottom line is still the $61 billion. We think anything less than that is inadequate. It's time to change the paradigm in Washington from spending to cutting cost.
Well, so as we do that, though, I think the larger question here is, do we do it for the short term? I'm sure we could come to some sort of an agreement. Well, maybe we can. Who knows? We'll see what happens by Friday night. But some sort of an agreement in the short term to say, all right, let's fund the government for a few weeks, a few months, or whatever the case may be. But what about longer term? Paul Ryan, who's the head of the Budget Committee now in Congress, has come out with this plan to cut $4 trillion over 10 years. A lot of cuts to Medicare would be in that. Where do you stand on that? Because if you do go forward and support something like that, won't the Democrats use it against you in the elections next year?
Well, they probably will. But again, I think this CR that we're looking at that will run out at the end of this week, we want to see H.R. 1, the big CR, pass with the $61 billion in cuts. Right. I think that's a forerunner of this Ryan budget bill, and I agree with Congressman Ryan. There are ways that we can cut the spending in Medicare and other things in out years. It won't affect current senior citizens, but that will change the way we do things in Washington so that good services are provided, but that we don't continue to blow the budget out.
Particularly interested in Medicare. I mean, you're a medical doctor yourself, and now you're talking about 48 million people, right, who receive services through Medicare. Will there be, or do there have to be, just big cuts in that program going forward? Is that a reality that, particularly senior citizens in this country just need to accept and deal with?
Well, I don't think that there needs to be a cut in services. I think what we need to do is to allow senior citizens who are wealthier to be able to pick up a bigger portion of their own health care, purchasing perhaps secondary insurance out in the marketplace. But so far we've been dumping that extra on the taxpayers and also on the providers. And so what we're seeing is that we can no longer pay the $300 billion that we owe potentially in the SGR fix. And on the other hand, we're seeing fewer and fewer doctors who are able to take Medicare patients in that reimbursement. So we're beginning to see shortages as well.
Yeah. All right, Congressman John Fleming, the great state of Louisiana. I believe I may have said